episode of the We Don't Wanna podcast. This is the show where two certified dipshits make uncertified takes on your favorite series. We're your hosts. I am Scott, and joining me as always, it's a shame the throne wasn't made of cock, so they'd have never got him off of it. It's Aki Ataki!
Hell yeah, dude.
How true is that about you?
You don't know what I'm sitting on here on my desk.
That's
there,
true. Your Snuggie that we definitely didn't just talk about 30 minutes ago is covering up.
I got a different hat on. I don't know what you're talking about. It's a different day.
Don't have a different hat. It's definitely not the same night. You have no proof that we're recording these at the same time. This is a new day, a new episode. It's episode 22, and Zachy Boy is sitting on all the cocks that he wants.
As per usual.
As per usual. How many times do you think we could say cocks in the first 2 minutes of this? We are talking Game of Thrones, but before that, Zach, I have to ask you, how them cocks?
No, you don't. Treating me well, man.
Good, excellent.
Oh yeah, taking real good care of me.
Yeah,
eating some little snacky boys.
Yeah, I see you got a snack. So what we didn't talk about with Zach Snuggie last episode was the fact that he's got a fucking pouch like a goddamn kangaroo on the front.
Check this out.
And he's just periodically reaching into his Snuggie pouch for snacks. Yeah.
Yo. Seriously though, on the real.
Yeah, on the real. Always on the
Hashtag
real.
not sponsored.
Yeah.
Not gonna say the name so we don't get sued, but this. Well, let's see if focus will
your
work.
Focus is fucked. Oh, there it is.
These.
Yeah.
You guys know. Oh my fucking word. You guys know what? Okay, this doesn't happen. This doesn't work. It doesn't work. This doesn't work.
It's a delectable little candy of some kind.
This little thingy.
Yeah, it was briefly in focus for a moment.
Why? Why doesn't?
Your camera fucking hates you, bro.
These fucking thingies are the best candies that have ever existed.
They're pretty good. Almost as good as cocks, one might say.
Have we got 2 minutes in yet or not?
Just right there. I had to squeeze one more.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Oh, you do have to squeeze one more cock in.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my god, that was the best setup you've ever given me.
That is.
Like, maybe ever,
that
actually.
That is maybe the best, and I totally didn't mean it. I'm still kind of out of it. You might have been able to tell and hear, still tell and hear how, like, phlegmy and gross I am, but I'm here for you.
Gross.
I'm here for
Scott.
the people. Yeah, you just keep eating your little pouch snacks while I try and keep us on track here. How have you been since I asked you an hour ago?
I've been
Your focus is so fucked, dude.
You didn't ask me an hour ago.
But you told me anyway, because just give it up. Just give it a rest. Just give it a rest. I feel so bad because like 99% of our audience is audio listeners, and yet we have insisted on making this show dependent upon visual gags since we started Game of Thrones. Oh, that's good. Yeah, you finally got it. I
forget this. That's what people who do like makeup reviews. That's what they do. They like hold the makeup in front of their hand and then put it towards so that way it doesn't focus on their face.
I'm glad you're so well versed in what people in makeup reviews do. What the fuck?
Yeah, man. Look at you can't tell I'm glowing. You're glowing because I'm sitting on all these cocks and I got makeup all over my face.
Yeah, it's definitely the cocks.
It's a glaze, is what. God, fuck. Never mind. We're stopping there.
You are literally gonna kill me. I'm already dying.
Yeah.
So more visual gags, I say, for our 99% listening audience out there. We appreciate you.
Yeah.
Folks.
Hey, you fucking listeners need to go watch.
Fuck Zach. You do whatever you want to do. But, listen.
To answer you though,
Oh, yes, please.
I am good.
Excellent. Yeah, you had to fill up your little snack pouch in between episodes. I mean, that was last week, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I took a whole week to fill this baby up.
Yeah.
No, I'm good actually. I saw you last weekend. We didn't talk about this.
Oh, that's true.
I got to see your fucking beautiful ass face.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, my ass face is very beautiful.
Yes.
Especially when I'm not feeling well.
We're frozen. Nope. Never mind. We're not frozen.
No, we're fine. You're a psychopath.
Yeah, I got to see you and...
Oh! Dude, Zach finally came. He visited for all of 10 minutes. And he finally
I forgot this was a gag.
I
forgot this was a bit.
The bit that I had going like a year and a half ago about this amazing gift.
It wasn't that long ago, you piece of shit.
It was so long ago. It was at least 10 years. It was at least 3.5 years long ago.
I think it was like November of last year.
No. It was so long ago. I had gotten Zach a beautiful, beautiful gift, and he was such a dick because he wouldn't come see me to get the gift. Well, he showed up for all of 10 minutes. Basically, he's like, "Give me my gift, cock," and then he left. That's exactly how it happened. Zach, do you want to tell them about the amazing gift that I got you?
Yeah, should I go get it? It's sitting right over there.
You could, yeah. I wouldn't want to disrupt your Snuggie time, but...
It's always Snuggie
But
time,
that's
baby.
the beauty of a Snuggie, is you just get up and it stays right with you. Holy shit. This is going so well. I will just fill time while Zach fucks around with... He said it was right over there. It's taking him forever. Here he is. Okay. Yeah.
You could have told people to follow us or something.
I could have
been actually fucking productive.
My mind is only half here currently.
Oh, this is never gonna work. We've already established I can't get my camera to focus.
No, use your makeup tricks.
Okay, so for those of you guys who have been listening, who are old school, from back in the day.
Yeah.
When I say back in the day, I mean like, I don't know. I actually think it was like October or November last year.
I really
because I know you got me something. I know you got one of these before Christmas.
Yes.
And I was like, oh fuck, I need to get, since he got me something.
Yeah.
Christmas is coming up. I should get him something, and like it'll be a Christmas gift.
Little did Zach know that my gift for him was actually a gag, basically. But then I did actually get him something real because then I felt
He did. And if you follow the Twitter and the Instagram, you've already seen these.
Right.
But Scotty got me as a nod to our last series together. He got me let's see if this will focus.
Ooh.
The unofficial Harry Potter spell book.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure this is like some cheap ass fucking little magazine book you get at like Target or Walmart.
I literally saw it in the checkout line at Target, and it was it was definitely while we were recording Harry Potter, obviously. And I was like, I'm gonna get this for Zach, and it can be a gag and it can be a thing. Little did I know that it was going to go on for 16 and a half years. But yeah, Zach finally got it.
I never, look, we live like 3.5 hours away from each other.
It's
and
it's not too far.
It's just, it's not often that we're going to,
and we definitely don't like each other that much.
Well, that's true. No, that is true. That is true. I was trying to be nice, but that is true.
That's not what we do here. We don't be nice.
How do I don't know what the right word is here. Because of this gift you got.
Have you learned any new spells, Zachy boy?
Well, I'm gonna actually see if you know some of your spells.
Not another quiz. I failed the last one.
You never took a quiz.
They asked me questions. Sam and Emily did on our last episode.
Oh, this is just a couple spells.
Okay, fine. Hit me.
Do you want me to give you the spell name? And you tell me what it does, or you want me to tell you what it does and you give me the spell name?
No, that's way hard. Give me the spell name and I'll tell you what it does.
Okay. Episky.
Fuck off.
This is your fucking your guy tries doing this.
Which one of my guys?
Oh no,
I'm
I'm lying. I'm actually full of shit. Episky is it's a healing spell to heal minor injuries.
Sure. Sounds like you're gonna piss in someone's.
You should have known that.
Eewees.
Okay.
Who did you think tried to use it? Who was my guy that you thought?
I was thinking it was a spell that that Lockhart uses when he fucks up Harry's arm.
You fool! You failed.
Okay, what does Levicorpus do?
It levitates someone's corpus. Obviously, it's the one that guts them upside down, right? That does it levitate a corpse basically, or like a body?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. All right. One last one.
Okay.
One last one. I gotta find a good one.
Best gift ever, by the way.
What?
Best gift ever, by the way.
Yeah, I know. I haven't even gotten to the actual gift. Okay. Mors Mordre.
Oh, that sounds.
The way they say it in the movie is Mors Mordre.
Is this an evil spell? Is this dark magic?
It is. How'd you know?
Sounds evil as shit. I know.
Sounds evil
Sounds
as shit.
evil as shit. I don't know. I have no idea.
This is the conjuration spell for the Dark Mark.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Yeah, this is what Barty Crouch Jr.
Fucking dude. Yeah.
casts at the Quidditch World Cup.
Sure.
All right, great. We're done. I had to look. We haven't talked Harry Potter in so long, and I had to do it. Okay, the actual legitimate gift that I am truly, actually grateful for that Scotty hooked me up with is you guys know we can never.
Yeah, we have to work baseball into this episode somehow.
Oh, yeah, I feel so bad. It happens every time. So there is this brand. I don't know what they're called actually. Dugout mugs.
Yeah.
Where it is a baseball bat.
Mm-hmm.
Check this thing out. Let's see if it'll focus.
It definitely won't. There you go. Hey.
There it is. Okay, so it is a baseball bat, legitimately like a small cut up bat, and it's hollowed out, and it is an actual mug.
Yeah.
It's a beer mug, is what it's meant to be,
sure.
right?
Yeah.
Okay. Like I shouldn't go put like coffee in this.
I mean, you probably could. I don't see any reason why not.
You think it'd be fine with the heat?
Yeah, it'd be fine. It's
Anyway, this is fucking cool.
They're super
dude.
cool.
This is so good.
It's just a wood bat. It's like the end of a bat cut off, and they seal it in some kind of, I don't know, nonsense that makes it not absorb all your liquid. But it's pretty cool.
Sure, right. Anyway, yeah, I am. I like cheaters, so I am an Astros fan. If you guys did not already know that,
I have no idea where you were going with that for a second.
If you're not cheating, you're not trying.
That's what they say.
So yeah, thank you, buddy. I told you thank you. I kissed your butthole a million times, and I told you in person, but on the pod live, I fucking love you. Thank you, buddy.
I love you too.
Really nice,
and Zach did get me something very nice as well. He got me a sick kind of coffee maker for camping, and I can't wait to use it.
Hell yeah,
that's good stuff. We should probably actually do what we're here to do. Believe it or not. Oh yeah, get you a little snack. Yeah. Easy access with the pouch. I am gonna jump into this here recap. We are ostensibly here to talk about episode 22, Dark Wings, Dark Words. And we
Dark Wieners. God
damn it. That was the worst joke I've ever heard.
It's pretty good though.
I'm gonna die. I'm literally gonna die before this episode ends. We begin with Bran, who's dreaming of running around trying to kill the three-eyed raven. He also meets a strange boy in his dream, who will come up later.
A strange boy.
A strange boy. At Harrenhal, King Rob receives the news that Kat's father, Lord Hostertully, has died. He also gets the news that Winterfell has been burned, and no one seems to know where Bran and Rickon have gone. So bad news all the way around. Then we get to see Theon tortured for a bit. It's riveting. Amazing. But now we cut to our two favorite traveling companions, Jamie and Brienne. They walk. You are gonna literally kill me. Oh my god. For our audio listeners, Zach was filling up his dugout mug, his lovely mug, on camera.
No. You don't have to tell our audio listeners. They need to watch the video.
I'm telling our audio listeners because, unlike you, I actually love and appreciate our audio listeners. He filled it up and it just overflowed everywhere because he's a fucking idiot that doesn't know how carbonated beverages work.
Dude,
I hope your Snuggie is ruined, by the way.
I will smell like beer for days.
Oh my god.
Because I don't shower. Anyway.
Jamie and Brienne, they walk and he talks and torments her. He's very, very good at it. They meet a farmer and Jamie thinks the man recognizes him, but Brienne refuses to silence him because he's an innocent man. At King's Landing, Joff is getting new threads made. I believe that's new fit, as the kids say these days, right? Isn't that what they say?
OOTD, outfit of the day.
What's the drip? Joff is all about that drip.
Yeah.
Is that something the kids
or
say?
There's like a GRWM, get ready with me.
Oh, I don't know that.
Check
one.
out the fit.
Okay, sure. I'll take your word for it.
That's the thing.
Yeah, Joff and his new duds. Cersei is trying to pit him against Marjorie. It doesn't work too well, though, because Joff is a stubborn little bitch boy that doesn't want to listen to his mommy anymore. Elsewhere, Shae warns Sansa to be wary of Littlefinger. Then Sansa goes with Marjorie to meet her grandmother, Lady Olenna Tyrell, who is just rad as all hell.
She's the fucking coolest.
We love her. Lady Olenna asks Sansa to tell them the truth about Joffrey. Sansa is terrified, but eventually tells them what a monster Joff is. In the Riverlands, Lord Karstark is big mad, as usual. He tells King Robb that they don't have enough men to defeat the Lannisters and that Robb lost the war the day that he married Talisa. Talisa tries to be nice and talk to Cat, but Cat is too busy being just awful, and then tells Talisa a story about how awful she was to Jon Snow all the time. But at least she knows how horrible she was, and she owns it. Speaking of old Johnny Snow, he chats with Mance about how Mance united all the different wildling clans. And then we meet the warg, Orell, a lot of talk of wargs this episode, who is seen through the eyes of his eagle to scout the Fist of the First Men, where the Night's Watch was attacked by the army of the dead.
Elsewhere, beyond the wall.
Dun, dun, dun.
Sam is struggling greatly on the trip back to the wall, and Commander Mormont forbids him to die and puts Rast in charge of making sure that he makes it back.
What a call.
Choice, man. The choices are made.
That is a choice.
That is a choice. It is. Somewhere in the north, Bran meets Jojen Reed.
More
the
new
boy
characters.
From his dream. Yeah, more new characters, yeah. The boy from his dream and his sister Mira Reed. Jojen says that they have been looking for Bran and have come to help him. Wandering through the Riverlands, Arya, Gendry, and Hot Pie run into a group from the Brotherhood Without Banners, led by Thoros of Myr. New and improved 2.0 Thoros of Myr. They make a lot of jokes about how fat Hot Pie is, and Arya doesn't want to go with them, but they ultimately do. Back in King's Landing, Shae visits Tyrion and is cruel and unfair to him, and he loves that shit.
Oh, he's so into it.
I fucking am into that shit too.
Yeah, you are.
Oh, yeah. Marjorie visits Joff, and he tries to be threatening and intimidating to her about how she was once married to Renly, but she plays him like a goddamn fiddle. And by the end of the conversation, she has him wrapped around her finger. Also, Joff is very sexually attracted to his new crossbow and definitely wants to stick his dick.
He does! He wants to stick his dick in that crossbow. It's a good way to get your dick all fucked up, but if Joff is into it, Joff is into it.
Dude, we're going to talk about this scene, by the way, at length.
Oh, yeah. Oh, big time. At At length, you say?
At girth.
Oh, shit.
Fuck.
He's so attracted to that
Dude.
crossbow.
I have not read this recap that Scott made. That was a good one. Oh, man. Okay. More Theon torture and some rando mopping the floors tells him that his sister sent him and that he will get him out later. Back on the road to the wall, Jojen tells Bran that he is a warg, and he also has the sight, meaning that he can see things from the past, future, and from thousands of miles away. We also get a little tidbit about Jojen and Mira's father, Howland Reed, who actually saved Ned's life during Robert's rebellion. Back in the Riverlands, Thoros feeds Arya, Gendry, and Hot Pie, and is then going to release them as promised, and as they're about to leave the Brotherhood, brings in the Hound, who they captured while he was sleeping. He recognizes Arya Stark at once and tells the Brotherhood that she's the Stark bitch, as he calls her. Elsewhere, Jaime and Brienne are crossing a bridge when Jaime gives her the old razzle-dazzle.
Oh, no!
Hey, that's a throwback. The old razzle-fucking-dazzle.
Not the old razzle-dazzle.
And steals one of her swords. They fight, and despite Jaime's confidence, she easily handles him as he's still chained and weak from his year of imprisonment. As the fight is finishing, a group of Roose Bolton's men ride up. The farmer from earlier did in fact recognize Jaime and confirms that it is him. Jaime tries to bargain with them, but they refuse and close in to capture them both.
Ooh.
Hell yeah.
It's
another episode.
That sure is an episode. We alluded to this actually last episode, which happened so long ago. We recorded it so long ago. But you and I feel like both not the biggest fans of this episode.
It's a little flaccid, except for some certain Marjorie things.
Yeah, there's some, as usual, as we said, there's always some good to be had, but overall, I was just a little bored through this episode. Like,
yeah.
Even the Arya stuff, like the Arya stuff usually is like some of my favorite stuff, and I love it. But even her stuff is just kind of meh.
It's fine. I mean, it's when we're looking at it as like what the episode has to offer, you see her on screen and you're like, oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah,
like,
right.
Get to check in with this, see what's going on here. But it just is. It's fun because it's Arya, but it's not fun because it's great stuff.
It's still just, we're still in a lot of setup phase, and there's just not much paying off yet.
Right. Which I feel like that is a feat in and of itself. And I do want to give credit where it's due. It is, I have to admit, it is very impressive that we're 3 seasons into this show, and so much has happened.
Right.
But yet it still feels like we're in a setup phase.
Oh, definitely. And we're still getting all these new characters. And
right. That's kind of what I was going to say. It's just kind of a testament to how rich this world is of happening, right? Of lore, of people, of just things to explore and dive into. And so in that aspect, when you're looking at kind of the bigger picture, it is kind of an interesting thing, and it's like it is just a testament to that. But to actually watch this episode, it is just a bit slow.
Yeah.
In my opinion, there are some fun moments.
Right. There are certain episodes as you watch the show that I think some episodes were better and I feel like more impactful when we were watching them, week to week, like every Sunday. Like I think about, I won't go too much into it, but I think about an episode like Hard Home where you get to like sit and unpack and think about what happens in that episode over a week's time, and I feel like that
watch it like 3 times over a week's time.
Exactly. And that gives it a greater impact. Whereas there are other episodes which probably are just better when you're like rewatching and binging the series. And I feel like this is one of those episodes where I wouldn't think twice about this episode if I was just binging straight through. but because obviously of the way we're doing this and we're talking about each episode individually and breaking them down, it's just kind of like, this is just kind of one of those connective tissue episodes, and nothing truly spectacular happens in it.
Especially, and I have to point this out, even though I, unlike you, did actually enjoy last episode for a handful of reasons, especially when we're coming off of the absolute high that is the last couple episodes of season 2.
Right.
It just does feel a little stagnant, maybe.
Yeah.
I think
that's a good point.
That's kind of how I would describe it. But
we do get we do get the start. The thing, one of the main things that comes to mind when I think of season 3 of Game of Thrones is Jaime specifically. Like, Jaime goes on.
Wait, hold on. That's the main thing you think of when you think of season 3 of Game of Thrones?
One of the main things.
Okay.
And honestly, some of his scenes, dude, like, he has hands down, I think, some of the best scenes in the season. Yeah. And I do oftentimes think of this as the season of Jaime. So we start to get some of that here, and I am appreciative.
I think I would argue that maybe the Hound and Arya have some of the best scenes of this season. But
that's a good point too. I also think of them. They're the other ones.
But yeah.
We're getting way ahead of ourselves there.
Yeah, we are getting ahead of ourselves. It's because there's not a lot in this episode.
True.
We're still going to talk about it, though. We're still going to talk about some fun stuff, some important stuff, and some very arousing stuff.
Sure. So why don't we talk about Bran?
That's what I was going to say. Let's start at the top. And I think to make this episode a little bit more interesting, if you're okay with it, I think I'd like to give a little background on House Reed.
For sure.
And what we know of Howland, and kind of... do you think that might touch some spoiler territory if we...
It certainly could. We can't go
a little bit of that.
We can't go too deep into it. Basically, we can kind of just say what Bran and Jojen do talk about, how at some point in the rebellion, Howland Reed, who is Jojen's father, saved Ned Stark's life. Bran does not really know the context for that. Jojen says his father never talked about it, but that he did see it because he has the sight.
We can give a little bit of info,
sure,
without context.
Sure.
So there's a battle, a very, very small battle, and more of an encounter, between Ned Stark and his men and a group of people. One of which is an incredibly renowned swordsman. His name is Sir Arthur Dayne, who is arguably the best swordsman that has ever lived. At least that's, legend says.
Sure.
And there was a brutal fight, and Ned almost did not make it out of that fight had it not been for Howland.
Right.
For Howland Reed. And as far as House Reed goes, they are they bannermen to the Starks, or are they part of the Riverlands?
No, they're still in the north, technically. Okay. They are very small. Little is known about them because they live in an area called the Neck of Westeros, which is swampland, basically. It's all swamps. The super cool thing about their home, which is called Greywater Watch, is their castle. It is a moving castle. It is not a whole lot is ever talked about that, to my recollection, but it is apparently a stronghold of some kind that is built on either a, raft type structure or an island of some kind, and it does move like throughout the swamps of the Neck, making it basically very, very cool. Impossible to find unless,
There's I actually kind of want to see what your thought is on this. I have read something that could be kind of an exaggeration of sorts.
Could be, sure.
It's so hard to navigate that area between all the fog and the swamplands, just always the swamp actual land being ever changing.
Yeah, and that could be it too.
So, but either way, it's still a super cool idea, super cool thought.
Right.
And just yet another one of those just interesting tidbits of world building that George Martin has just injected into this story that is already so rich with that stuff that
True.
I'm like, man, I just want more of that. It's so cool.
There is everyone wants more info on Howland Reed. Basically, I do think it's interesting that Jojen tells Bran like when he told his father of Ned Stark's death, it's the only time he ever saw him cry.
Technical difficulties with Scotty Westside.
I love being sick. So yes, obviously Howland Reed and Ned Stark were very close. And yeah, he's just a very fascinating character that we don't know a lot about. And the fact that he sends, you know, his two children, Jojen and Mira, to find Bran and help him, you know, obviously Jojen having the sight is very important to Bran's, you know, development
journey
as well. So they are interesting characters, but I think that kind of the things that surround them, like we talked about with like just the Reeds in general, their father, Greywater Watch, like where they come from, is almost even more interesting than them, just because it's kind of so mysterious.
Yeah, another thing too that I always find very funny. I never know his name, but the young actor who plays Jojen, I think he's good.
Yeah, it's a good job.
In the books, he's described as this like very sallow and like almost like sickly and like slimy looking person, like just like gross, like greasy skin and like almost like a green tinge to the skin. And I think most of them are, right, like from that area, like that's kind of what they're known for.
The Freys famously hate them because they're kind of the next closest house there to the neck, and they're known as like frog eaters and like the Cranach.
Right.
They're kind of like the Freys kind of hate them.
Right.
They, you know, fight with poisoned weapons and all this stuff, and yeah, they're like, well, they turn into frogs themselves, and yeah,
right,
all that kind of bullshit.
Right. And I distinctly, I mean, it has been so long since I've read, because I've only ever read the first 3 books, but it's been a long time since I read them.
Sure.
I distinctly remember Bran recalling that they smelled like frogs, and they smelled like just gross, like wet,
like moss
mildew.
and mildew.
Like yeah. Maybe that's what it was, moss and mildew. And I just always thought that was funny because I had seen them on screen first, and then reading that I was like, that's not how they look at all. That sounds gross.
I can't remember if how much of this makes into the show, honestly, but also in the books, Bran has a major crush on Mira.
Right.
He's big crushing on Mira. So.
Yeah. Anyway, just some cool tidbits for you guys. Not sure how much of you guys are book readers or like the deep lore, like that stuff. So hopefully we can bring you some value, even in a slightly more stagnant episode. So they unite with Jojen Reed and Mira Reed, and they are there to help on the journey. Though we're not entirely sure kind of what the direction is supposed to be.
Right.
So there's definitely this kind of like ominous, like what exactly is going on here, and I think it's cool. I mean, I think it's a good setup. It's just none of it actually plays out yet, and so it's just very like, okay, what's next? That's how this episode feels the whole time. What's next?
We also do, like I said, you know, we get a lot of talk about wargs this episode. We learned that they're not super uncommon beyond the wall, but obviously, you know, south of the wall, John has never heard of them. Like, he's heard of them, but he's never met one. You know, so he's taken aback by that. But the fact that Bran is both a warg and has the quote unquote sight, as Jojen said, that is a big deal. We'll get more on that to come as well. So,
for show.
Yeah. What do you want to talk about next? Shall we talk about?
Let's just hit on Theon real quick.
Sure.
Because it's gonna be real close. All right, real quick.
Yeah. Just riveting torture scenes. Love them so much,
dude. When that like spike pick thing goes under his nail.
Yeah.
Dude, my asshole puckers up so bad.
I'm more not a fan. Like, I'm not a fan of that, obviously, but I'm more not a fan of the drill into the top of his foot scenario they got going on.
Yeah.
It's just like, I, made a big deal the last couple seasons about how much I dislike Theon and how he's a sack of shit and how everything he gets, he has brought on himself. But like, I also just like, I don't need to see this. Like, I'm just not a fan of these scenes. I don't really care about Theon. It's not interesting for me to see him tortured. I'm just not into it.
Right.
So
this is, I know you're not into it, and there are people out there, although there's not many. My wife is one of them.
Big Theon stans.
Who stan Theon?
Yeah.
Because, and it's for a very particular reason, which I understand. He does have kind of a wild arc.
True.
And a lot does change about him, physically and emotionally.
Mm-hmm.
And this is kind of the start of, like, I know for people of Amanda's same mind, this is the start of, like, kind of really starting to buy into his story and his arc.
Sure.
Because we see, I mean, think of how just, like, boastful and arrogant he was just a couple episodes ago.
Right.
And now in this episode, he's begging this random person, please don't go, please don't go.
Yeah.
Like, he's scared for his fucking life. Like, he has made an obvious hard switch, which is understandable. He's being tortured, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, Amanda always talks up Alfie Allen's acting ability, which I do agree with.
Right, yeah. I got no problem with the performance.
And that's one of the reasons that she loves it. She likes being able to see this character kind of go from being this, like, annoying, ignorant, and arrogant sack of shit, being able to transition to being this, like, cowering baby boy.
Sure.
Tortured baby boy. She likes broken characters, man. She's a fucking weirdo, dude.
Listen, I can see where you're going with that and, like, where she's coming from, but it's not my favorite storyline by a long shot, and we get a decent amount of it here in this season, I feel like, if I remember correctly, and I'm just kind of whatever with it, but I can see where some people would find that interesting.
I'm more interested in his stuff when it comes to the others who are involved. I don't think that he's named, so I will refrain from naming him. But I'm more interested in that. Like, that's just, like, weird stuff to me, especially my first time watching through. I was always like, interesting, what's going on here? So
yeah, definitely.
Anyway, that's Theon for you this episode. What do you want to hit next, man?
Let's hit the cat scene. Well, the Rob whole sequence
her being
here, real quick.
Cunt ass to fucking John.
Oh boy. So real quick before we get to that, more trouble in the ranks with Lord Karstark and King Robb. Obviously, Karstark has been pissed at Robb and Cat ever since she let the Kingslayer go and all that. And now he's just like, yeah, dude, we already lost this war. We lost this war the day you married her. So not great. Things just continuing to go south for Robb. Obviously, they receive the news that both Lord Hoster Tully died and Winterfell has been burned, and they don't know where Bran and Rickon are. So just nothing really good happening for Robb all the way around. And then we get the scene between Talisa and Kat, where Kat, I gotta give her credit, she owns it. She's like, she tells this horrible story about how she prayed to the gods to kill this poor boy, and then said poor boy got sick and looked like he might die, and then she was like, oh shit, how could I be so terrible? Please save him. I'll love him. I'll have my husband, legitimize him, blah blah blah. And then he doesn't die, and she immediately is like, fuck him. I hate him again. I want him gone. But
dude, Catelyn sucks.
Dude,
man.
it's like, what are you doing, Cat? And she's like, I knew that I was the most horrible woman alive because I could not love a motherless child. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm glad you understand. You are the worst. It is a good story though. It's well performed.
It is. Yeah.
It's just we've always, we've talked even in the very first episode about how bad we feel for Jon, about how much of a bitch she was to him. But we didn't even know the extent of it. Like, this is fucking brutal.
Yeah.
Poor Jon Snow.
Agreed. Yeah, she's just a dick.
Yeah.
And I understand there's a lot of people who will say, you're being inconsiderate the same way that we kind of were with Harry and Ron. But she's a full-ass adult.
Yeah.
Unlike Harry and Ron.
True.
And she's a cunt in a lot of fucking ways. That's just not nice. I understand she's had her heart broken or whatever the fuck. And that is valid, and it is okay to feel those things. It is not okay to treat a fucking child like that.
Yeah.
She's a bitch.
Shit, yeah.
She sucks. And she just makes dumb fucking choices.
She owns it and knows it though in this moment. But I appreciate even how she's like, this is the reason all these terrible things have happened to my family is because I couldn't love a motherless child. And it's like, yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
maybe so.
I mean, there is no cure for being a cunt.
True. That's what
Bronn once said.
A wise man. A wise man.
A wise sir.
A wise sir. Yes. Sorry. Sir Bronn of the Blackwater. He's so proud of himself. Good for him. Let's talk about Arya here real quick, because I think we should probably end with the Jaime and Brienne stuff. I guess we got a few more here. Always lovely to see Arya again. Just always happy. I love how we talked about this briefly last season, but Gendry giving her shit about the names she chose for her magical assassin. And he's like, right. What the hell, bro? You could have ended the war. And she's kind of like, whatever, dude. He got us out of Harrenhal. Like, what do you want from me?
Right. You keep saying, I do want to call something out here.
Okay.
You keep saying how this kind of Arya stuff is just very boring, or at least doesn't live up to like her normal quality of scenes.
Sure.
And although yes, it is Arya, and I'm excited to see Arya, I enjoy this stuff way more because of Thoros' kind of reintroduction. I think he's a witty dick, kind of, but like I love him.
Yeah.
I really enjoy Thoros.
I enjoy Thoros quite a bit too. In fact, he has one of my favorite lines in this episode when he is like, when they're actually at the inn, and he's like, so tell me, how did 3 children? And Arya just, her defenses, she bristles at that immediately. She's like, we're not children. So he just goes, how did 3 young persons escape from Harrenhal? And he is very funny in this episode for sure. I do like Thoros. I'm with you on that one.
Yeah.
You are a very dangerous person.
Why are your friends shy?
Yeah.
What friends? The fat one.
Dude, the
lad standing to his right.
Dude, poor Hot Pie. I forgot. They fucking hate on him constantly.
Dude, they light his ass up,
dude,
man.
He will never recover.
The entire 7 Kingdoms starving, and look at the state of this one.
Do you think maybe the 7 Kingdoms are starving because of this one? Dude, Hot Pie is catching it hard. That poor fucker will never be the same. I do love just, generally Arya just being, her usual self. She's a badass. She tries to be bigger and older and tougher and cooler than she actually is. But I love her confidence in it. And yeah, obviously, she wanted to get the hell out of there, but the Hound recognized her, and now she's probably not going anywhere because now they know that she is a highborn girl, and that changes a lot.
Does change some things.
Yes. So she is probably not going anywhere, but we will get more on that, I'm sure. Next time.
Let's talk about King's Landing.
Let's talk about King's Landing.
Okay, my favorite scene in King's Landing.
Couldn't even guess.
Actually, I'm gonna save my favorite scene in King's Landing.
Okay.
Next. A scene that I really enjoy. I especially love the scene where Shay finds out that Tyrion has fucked Roz. It is so funny to me, dude. Because she's like the redheaded, like Littlefinger's friend, and he's like Littlefinger
doesn't have
she's
friends.
Like the redheaded one, and he's like, oh, Roz. Right. And she's like,
listen, I make it my business to know as many people as possible. You fucked her.
And she's just like, you fucked her. No.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, once. I fucked her. Once.
Okay, twice.
And she's like, looks at him. Okay, twice.
It is very, very good. Poor Tyrion cannot catch a break here until he catches the
some
break.
Hands.
Yeah, that's a very good scene. We have to talk about our introduction to Lady Olenna. The goat. She is impeccable. She is so rad. She is played to perfection. I just love like her interaction with Sansa, where Sansa is just like obviously terrified as usual. Mm-hmm. And Lady Olenna is like trying to make her feel like, put her at ease by like, joking around and giving her favorite foods and all this, but it's just making Sansa more uncomfortable.
Right.
But, at the end of the day, she's like, she's got Marjorie's best interests at heart. She wants to know what's the deal with this Joff fucker.
Right.
I also love Marjorie's reaction when Sansa tells them what a monster he is. Marjorie just kind of does this look of like, yeah, well, them's the breaks. Yeah, that's a shame. Them's the breaks, I guess. Yeah. She's like, Marjorie is like so confident in herself. She'll like, I'll handle it.
Dude, she's like, well, this is the game I'm playing.
Right. This is the game I'm playing. I'll handle it. I'm perfectly capable of handling that little chode. Is what it is. I'll take care of it. And I do. I love that she has that reaction.
There are a couple, aside from Olenna, there are a couple things that were like really, really brought to my attention. And this is more actually just like the picture of it all.
Mm-hmm.
I would be curious to know who the director of this episode was, because I became increasingly aware of the use of like really good framing. Like rewatching this scene with the Olenna introduction, I was like,
oh, I know exactly
this just
what you're
looks so good.
Yeah.
Like when they come through the gardens and everything is very symmetrical.
Yeah.
Well, there's that, but even just the entrance where
Sure.
everything's very symmetrical and everybody's parting ways for them walking down like the path. And then also, yes, when Sansa is sitting in the chair, there's even really good framing with like there's the Arya scene where you've got like the cutout and you see her eye.
Yeah.
I just feel like it's kind of like prominent in this episode, and it does make for like some really interesting shots, especially in this scene. I thought it looked fantastic. I was like, hell yeah, this looks badass.
Yeah, this is a very cool scene in the gardens with Olenna.
Olenna's so fucking fun.
She's awesome.
Every time.
Yeah.
We will have a lot of her, and we're going to talk about her a lot. She is a fucking firecracker.
She is a tour de force whenever she's on screen. Like,
the only one in this series that can maybe go toe-to-toe with Tywin?
Oh, there might be a scene in particular between the two of them that we will probably gush a lot about.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
And we're talking about it way earlier than we should be, but it is fantastic.
True.
She deserves it.
She is great. I also love that fucking random servant dude number 5 tries to tell her when the cheese will be served, and she's like, bitch, the cheese will be served when I want it to be served, and I want my fucking cheese now. She's great. Little mustache-faced bitch.
His face, by the way, is so funny to me. It's so intense. He's like...
Oh, that poor fucker did not know who he was fucking with.
Yeah. It's very good.
It's good stuff.
Okay. This is the scene of the hour.
The scene. Yeah.
Okay, so look, man. Joffrey and his crossbow.
Oh my god.
They are sponsored by Blue Chew. Cause
no. No Blue Chew needed when he's got that crossbow.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, you're right.
That thing gets him insta hard.
He is just rigid. Just a fucking board.
He is just stroking the ever-living hell out of that crossbow. Like, yeah, definitely. That crossbow is just fondled to an absurd degree in this scene.
Yeah.
He is stroking it hard.
Also, God, dude, Joffrey is something else, man.
Yes.
So Marjorie, she's playing her game, and
it looks bad for her at first when she first comes
Joffrey
in.
Starts kind of giving it to her a little bit.
Yeah.
And you can tell she's very like, oh.
Yeah.
Okay. But I gotta kind of switch gears a little bit here.
But she is such an adept player of the game that she pivots and just wraps him around her finger.
Dude, it is fucking, I mean, it is, I shouldn't say unbelievable, but like, because he is much younger than her and she knows what the fuck she's doing, but like, it is insane how she just does this little dance with him and he is hers.
Yep.
Like that. It is insane. Also, him getting so aroused
by the thought of her killing somebody. Yeah,
dude, I heard his pants tighten up, dude. I heard it.
I didn't think anything could get him harder than that crossbow, but the thought of her killing something that, like, I mean, he just got new threads earlier in the episode, but now he needs new pants all over again because he had to have ripped those things in half. He got so hard.
In fucking half, dude. Well, I mean, I don't know. You think he's a big man?
No. But that's how hard he was.
My AirPods are about to die, so I'm switching to
fucking AirPods.
just some regular deals.
Yeah, we're making a lot of jokes about this scene, but it is
a good scene.
It is a good scene because it illustrates just, like I said, just how adept she is at playing the game. We talked about it earlier where Sansa tells them he's a monster and Marjorie's just kind of like, okay, well, yeah, that is what it is. And she's fucking ready for it.
Right.
And it's very, very good stuff. She is great.
Yeah. Is there anything else in King's Landing that we need to touch on? I don't have any other notes or anything there.
Yeah, I don't think in King's Landing we didn't really talk about Jon up north. There's not a ton with him. We get the little tidbit about how Mance basically tells him that how he, consolidated all these different wildling clans, that he told them they were all going to die unless they get south. And then, we meet Orell, who's another new character who will be important this season. And
I hate Orell.
Yeah, he sucks. He's off Worgen in his eagle, and he sees a bunch of dead crows, as he says. That's pretty much it that we get with Jon. That is pretty much it. There's not much there.
Is there not? Did I just miss notes? Is there not Daenerys in this?
Daenerys
episode?
is not in this episode.
Okay, I'm surprised you're not like in love with this episode.
Okay, I'm not just that anti-Daenerys that I'm just like, oh no, Daenerys, best episode ever.
I mean, you were like that with Quidditch.
That's true. That should tell you how much I hated Quidditch. Let's talk about Jaime.
Yeah,
and Brienne.
I think it's time.
Jaime and Brienne, we talked about this at the end of last season. They are a very fun duo to follow. Because they're just so wildly different. And Jaime has just an unbelievable knack for getting under her skin, as much as she tries to say that, he doesn't.
Right.
The Renly, the throne being made of cocks line is a truly legendary line that is one of my favorites in the entire series. It's so good. But I love how he follows that up with an actual real human moment we get from Jaime, where he tells her, I don't blame him. We don't get to choose who we love.
Yes.
Which is less of an insight into Renly's character and more just a reflection on him, of him, being outright admitting, I love Cersei.
Right.
And we don't get to choose who we love. She's my sister. It doesn't matter to me. I love her.
Right. Yeah, it's very good. There's a lot of like just really fun dialogue in their whole interaction this episode. I laughed out loud because it's always so fucking refreshing to just be reminded how funny he is.
Yes.
He said, I have it typed out. He calls Brienne a giant toe-headed plank.
Yes, he does. I love how he's also like, you definitely weren't at Winterfell. I would have noticed your dour head banging into the archways.
And then right before he delivers the fucking joke of them all, he also is like, oh, you fancied him. Oh, you did. Did you tell him?
Yeah.
No, you wouldn't have. He preferred curly-haired little girls like Loras. You're far too much man for him.
Far too much of a man for him. Which is a simultaneous mega burn on him and on poor dead
just
Renly.
Dishing it, man.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's very funny, and I absolutely love them on screen together.
Yeah, they're
as boring and fucking just monotone as I find Brienne.
Yeah.
Her scenes with Jaime are the best.
He truly does. Like Jaime, I feel like I sing his praises constantly, but like he does, like, it doesn't matter who he's pitted with, whether it's Catelyn or Brienne here, like he elevates like the scenes and the characters around him to just be so good, because he's either so, like, Jaime almost has like two switches and they're both incredible. He's incredibly like real and like poignant and like this is like very true cutting stuff, or this is just pure comedy and I'm gonna just like roast people. And both of his modes there are both just so excellent and so good. I love, just like I said, it's their dynamic of him just being this insufferable asshole and her just basically having no choice but to like take it, is very, very fun and very, very good. Yeah. And then my poor guy is brought back to reality a little bit. He thinks he's gonna waltz all over her in their duel once he gets a sword in his hands, and she proves that is not the case. She kind of absolutely walks all over him. Now,
I think she just overpowers him, is right. What it is.
He is still chained and has been imprisoned for a year. So he is
I know what you're doing here. I
Very
love
much
it.
not at his best. Which, if you read the books, Brienne even says that in her chapter. She's like, I can't even imagine what he would be like at full strength. Just FYI.
Ha ha ha! This is only 20% of my power.
Jamie's a real Toguro in this moment. But yeah, she beats him down, and then of course the Boltons roll up, and
what is that fucker's name, by the way?
His name is Locke. We do not know this yet, but his name is Locke.
Lockheed Martin, right?
Yes. I do like his line about how Jamie like trying to bribe him, and he's just like, "Will he give me enough to buy a new head?"
Yeah. Okay, so what you're trying to do, and what you're doing successfully, by the way, because I don't disagree with you.
Do whatever.
There's so many people out there that want Brienne to be like at the top, like that. You have to acknowledge that like Jamie in his prime is one of the best fighters, or like, you know, arguably a top 3 fighter in Seven Kingdoms history.
Mm-hmm.
And then they use this as an argument for why Brienne should be in that conversation.
Sure.
And it just is stupid.
Yeah, no,
it's just stupid. The dude's literally had nothing to eat for an entire year, lived in his own shit.
My dude has got corns on his feet. He can't stop talking about those corns. He never used to get corns. Corn. My poor dude is wearing the same shit boots for years.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, he's nowhere even close to being in his prime. There is another fight that I understand why people will talk about Brienne, which we'll get to at some point later in the series. But still, it's just this is not a testament of their strength, of their skill.
No, Jamie is far from at his best here. And he still gives her
and he will only get farther from his best.
True. Spoilers. Anyway, that's all the notes I had for this episode. Did you have anything else?
No, that's pretty much everything, man.
It sure is an episode.
It is. Let's jump in to Who Be Thrown
Who Be Thrown In?
Who Be Thrown In?
Okay. I do know someone I need to add for sure. And I do not think I have her yet. So if you want to do your little song and dance.
Have her? Oh, Olenna, of course.
Yes.
Yeah, if you guys want to be fucking cool,
I love how this is starting.
Can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at We Don't Want to Pod. That was insanely fast.
Well, I already had her saved in my computer. I just had to bring her on here.
Well, you're ruining my spiel.
You can keep going.
You can follow us on
I'm not stopping you.
Twitter. Shut the fuck up, Scott. Twitter and Instagram, people, at We Don't Want to Pod. I killed Scott.
I'm dying. He killed me.
Where we post things. We put shit up that is relevant. Audio listeners, if you're maybe wondering about funny things we talk about, it might end up as a clip.
Oh, it might.
Might end up as a picture on our Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, even TikTok, which I really need to get better at fucking managing, if we're being honest. But even TikTok, just put in at We Don't Want to Pod on literally every social media, and you'll probably find us. Even on Christians Mingle and on farmersonly.com, you'll find us at We Don't Want to Pod.
I don't think that's accurate, but I'll go with it.
Yeah, no, that would be super cool, and you would be denying yourself the opportunity to be fucking tight as fucking butthole if you just don't go over there. Then you need to do it. You need to do it.
Okay. Way to buy time, buddy. You're a master.
I'm a professional.
You're absolutely professional. So was Tyron in this he wasn't he? Am I losing my mind?
I don't think he was, man.
Oh shit, maybe he was wasn't.
No, he wasn't.
Okay.
Can we just still leave him there?
I still kind of just want to leave him there. Marjorie, I think, stays at 2 also. If anyone would take his spot, I feel like it would probably be Marjorie. Does Joff come off? Because he kind of gets played real hard.
Yeah, but see, he's getting closer and closer to Marjorie, so that's a win.
That's true.
And he is still the king.
John can probably come off. I just don't think he did enough. Definitely Lady Olenna is gonna make this list somewhere. I will not hear otherwise. And I think Jamie has to make the list because he had a great episode.
Do we
want to have like Bran, little Bran muffin?
Bran? Are you being serious? No.
I mean, he got a kind of spirit
Bran is
guide.
so boring. I think this is it. This is our 5 right here. Is there anybody else that
I'm trying? Like Arya doesn't do a lot. Like do you want to put Thoros maybe on there?
Thoros does now have in his possession the Hound and Arya.
I wouldn't put him ahead of any of these 5 though.
Okay, that's
the 5 that we have up on the board for contention for those who are listening are Tywin, Marjorie, Joffrey, Lady Olenna, and Jamie. Brienne?
Nah.
Okay, fair enough. Definitely not Sam.
Definitely not Rob.
Definitely not Rob.
Yeah, I don't really think.
Not Davos. Theon is really in a great spot, you know?
Hell yeah.
He's doing some work.
Anybody in the north?
So it's just a Sam. No, well, Bran would be the only one, unless you want to put like Jojen or Mira.
What about like North? John Mance,
Orel. I don't think
Rast.
There you go. Our boy fucking Rast. I
think this is it. I think these are the 5.
I think these are it. I'm trying hard to think of.
And this is sad too because Tywin's not even in this episode, and we're just overriding that rule.
Is it? It's less of a rule and more just like it's convenient for me to be like, Danny isn't in this episode and just yank her off the list.
Mm-hmm.
But he's still the hand of the king, and he's, we don't physically see him, but we know he's behind that desk writing letters. But we feel him,
if you know what I mean.
Feel him.
Oh, I know who.
Who?
Okay, Tywin comes off.
Is this legitimate?
Huh?
Is this legitimate?
Yeah.
Who is it?
The crossbow. Joff's crossbow.
Okay, done. Yes, you are correct. Where do they slot in? I feel like Marjorie stays 2.
Do we drop Tywin to the end out of respect because he's not in the episode?
No, I feel like if we do keep him, we have to keep him at 1. Just
okay, I'm okay with it. I love him so much. You've convinced me.
Okay,
I know it was a battle.
That was very difficult. That was very difficult to convince you. Does Olenna go to 3, or is that Jamie?
Yes. No, Olenna goes to 3, Jamie to 4, Joff to 5.
I think I can. You think Olenna's better than Jamie this episode?
Yes, I do.
Oh, I don't know if I agree with that, but
I do. I mean, I mean, seriously, other than Tywin, is there a better character introduction?
Oh, probably. There's a lot of good character introductions in this show. Hers is very, very, very good, though. I'm not trying to disparage her. Her scene is incredible. I love her to absolute death. She's so much fun. Also, Jamie was fucking baller.
She just came out swinging, man, and is so refreshing.
That's fine.
I think she earned it.
That's fair enough. I will shake.
She also, okay, hold on. She also is not captured. and just got caught by the Boltons.
And Jamie briefly got himself kind of free, and he got a sword. He got to work out his weary bones and his corns there for a second. But all right, I'm with you. So that leaves us with Tywin, who had played such a big role in this episode. It's so big we literally didn't even talk about it.
So much, actually.
It cannot be stated how important he was in this episode. It literally can't. Marjorie at 2, she is playing Joffrey Boy like a fiddle. Lady Olenna with a great introduction at 3, Jamie at 4, and Joffrey Boy. I kind of feel like he's making the list just because he is getting closer to Marjorie, and also he's got that fancy crossbow. He
does have a fancy crossbow.
He does have that sexy new crossbow. So,
yeah, I think that is who be thrown in.
I think you are correct. I think that's it.
That was definitely an episode, Scott.
That was.
I have to admit, I'm surprised we talked for as long as we did about this one.
Too. I think half of it was just me coughing and hacking up a lung. I need to go to
and also
bed.
we did spend some time on the Reed family.
Yeah, that's true.
And I had a couple dumb tangents, which I tend to do when it's a boring episode. Yeah. So, yeah, hey, it was fun. It wasn't a boring episode for, like, podcast episode. Don't misunderstand me. Boring Game of Thrones episode.
Sounds like this episode sucked.
This episode fucking sucks. Never listen to us again. We fucking quit.
Shit.
Guys, we love you. Thank you for listening. Do the fucking things that I said earlier. And actually, some other things that I haven't said. I always forget to say this. Hit us up on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, anywhere that you listen to us and you can leave a rating.
Yeah, do that.
Guys, it means a lot. It really does. We have big egos and we like to see nice things about ourselves. So do the fucking thing. 5-star review, only 5-star reviews, nothing lower than that, of course. And tell us how fucking hot we are, and I mean how great our podcast is, and how awesome Scott's new hat is.
I need to take some NyQuil and go to bed.
I did drink like 7 bottles of NyQuil and just never wake up again. You guys have a great fucking week. We'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Dude, your hand is so white. It literally is your wall. My God.
It's messing up with the
Dude,
white
you
balance.
are the whitest person I know.
I'm doing the 1,000-hand slap.
Oh, it's a makeup trick. Oh.